Carlos.
And I'm Kem.
And together, we're the Discussion Cast.
And this is our guest for today. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Michaela.
And so what year are you, Michaela?
I'm a senior.
And what team are you on?
I'm on the cross-country team.
Okay, and what is your major?
My major is biochemistry, and I'm looking to go to PA school after this.
Nice.
Yeah. So basically on here, we basically talk about the transition from D2 to D1. And then, you've been here for the past 3 years.
Yeah.
So about the transition, how it went from D2 to D1. First question is, was it smooth or not?
I would say it was smooth. I'll never forget the meeting we had in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
My coach was like, all right, we need to talk. And then he was like, yeah, we're D1 now. And we're like, excuse me? But I would say it's been smooth, but I feel like with my team, we go out and run.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it hasn't changed too much.
Yeah. Is the distance you're traveling for run meets and stuff like that farther than before? And how is that impacting your academic schedule and your grades and stuff?
So we are traveling further. Our championship conference, NEC, is in Connecticut.
Okay.
So we will be leaving on Wednesday and missing Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday kind of thing. So we do miss more classes with more traveling, but I would say the professors are understanding. But it is interesting because when we were D2, academics came before athletics, but now that we're D1, athletics come before academics is usually how D1 works. So it is interesting.
That's an interesting switch. Correct me if I'm wrong, but most, if not all, coaches here at the university have grade expectancies for each of their athletes, right?
Yes, and I believe that is still held true, but missing class is becoming more prominent because teams are traveling further and have more competitions.
Yeah. So are you basically learning more from slideshows and stuff that your professors provide rather than going to class and stuff like that? And how are the professors helping you guys through this whole period?
So I haven't missed too many classes yet. Our meets with cross country, we can stay pretty local.
Yeah.
So we haven't necessarily raced our competition, but more raced the competition, the other schools around this area.
Yeah.
But basically when I miss those 3 days of classes, I have to go look at the PowerPoints, and I'm gonna miss a lab, so I'm gonna have to come in on my own time and make it up and work with the professor on that.
So is it worth the sacrifice in that terms of going using your own personal time rather than being on your school schedule time?
I personally came to a D2 school because I liked the philosophy that academics come first. I came here to get a degree. Running was just a little bit of a bonus.
Yeah.
So I think I'm glad that I'm a senior I'm glad that I will not be continuing to be D1.
All right, that reminds me. I heard that with certain teams, this transition has affected the types of races and competitions athletics teams can participate in. Has it been the same case with cross country?
Yes, it has. So normally we have our conference meet, and then we go on to regionals. And then at regionals, you can qualify for nationals. We are no longer allowed to even compete in the regional race. So our season is 2 weeks shorter, and there's no chance that any of us could go to nationals.
Okay.
Has that felt demotivating in any way?
Yeah, because we're not really running for, we're running for, you can run for your best times and stuff, but as a team and individually, you can't go anywhere.
Yeah, you can't win any trophies.
You can't win anything, so
Kind of
not as motivating.
So another thing is I have a few friends on the baseball team, and they were telling me that they're losing their scholarship money. Are you here on a sports scholarship since you're on the running team?
Yes.
Did they reallocate how much money you were getting ever since they went from D2 to D1? Did you lose any money from your scholarships?
I did not lose any money, but I don't know if this year is different, but we haven't had as much. We don't get any gear, and our uniforms are just it's a patch that's sewn on over the PSAC. We haven't gotten our new NEC uniforms yet, which I think is weird.
Yeah. Okay, so another question I had is food-wise at the grotto, right? Do you think it accommodates what you need as an athlete and the student athletes? I don't think they have the best food in the options there. So how do you feel about it?
I know we go to dinner after practice, and sometimes a lot of us don't eat very much.
Yeah.
And we need a lot of fuel to be able to, perform our best.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
And sometimes when the food is not, that good.
Yeah, you don't eat as much.
We don't eat as much, and then that does hurt our performance. So I do think that the food, I don't know, there could be like a nutritional specialist or something that comes in and like works with the staff and like accommodate for us being D1 now too.
You're right, that's what I was saying. Like, it could be separate for, students that aren't athletes, but like students that are athletes, like maybe you guys need a better meal plan and stuff like that. That's more, towards your sport and stuff that'll help you, become in like top shape and like,
Yeah.
And then another thing is like, do you go to the gym that's meant for all the athletes, or do you use the regular gym?
So we use the hockey lift or whatever it's called, the like in the ice rink, how they have their own.
Mm-hmm.
That's where our strength and conditioning is. Like, we have it every Tuesday, Thursday morning.
So is it way better than the gym that's used for like the rec center that's used for like every student and stuff? Because you've seen it in there, it's kind of terrible. Like, there's holes everywhere, the weights suck.
I mean, there's no machines in there. It's just
Mm-hmm.
like the squatting racks and stuff, and then there's some bikes in there, but there's no like treadmills, like weight machines or anything like that. But the lifts that we are given by Coach Travis do not involve any machines anyways.
Okay.
All right. And one thing both of us notice is that they seem to advertise the gym in the hockey room rather than the general use gym.
The rec gym.
In the rec.
Yeah.
So, what's your opinion on that?
Like, what do you mean advertise it?
False advertising. Do you think like students that are coming here, like let's say freshmen next year, they're getting the idea of, oh, this is the gym that all the students are allowed to use, and then they come and they see their rec.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, the hockey one definitely looks nicer.
Yeah.
Like, when it's advertised, the rec is all very close together. It's like in the basement.
Yeah.
I do think now, especially now that we're D1, I do think that,
Mm-hmm.
if we're going to be a D1 school, I think our athletic facilities should be a little bit nicer.
Yeah. Okay. And then another thing is, since like you can't compete for any honors, like any trophies and stuff like that, would that deter other students from coming for the next few years? And then I don't know, like sophomores and juniors leave. I know you didn't want to leave because you were a senior, and there would be no point. But like other students like below you.
Yeah, I do know a lot of people who have transferred or have
Mm-hmm.
talked about transferring. I know lacrosse, for example, was very good.
Yeah.
And now they can't compete for anything.
Yep.
So they're like, okay, what's the point of playing?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like they just tore down the program, and after they have to build it back up in the next few years. But by that time, we're all going to be graduated and stuff, so we don't really get to see.
And that's what I've said. Like, the effect of us being D1 isn't going to be seen while the students that are here right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be in 4 years from now when we see the real effects of this.
Right. When we're already graduated, done and dusted.
Yeah.
Whether it be good or bad, well, we'll never know, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, unless we come home for homecoming alumni weekend.
Well, I think that's mostly all the topics that me and Carlos wanted to discuss. I don't know, do you think in the next few years that the program's going to get better and then like it's going to grow, or do you think it's just going to stagnate basically?
I think it could be either or. I think it could grow because people that want to go D1 are like, okay, this is an achievable thing, I can go D1, because we're not like this like really top tier D1 team.
Yeah.
So I do think it could, like, if somebody's looking to go D1, I think it could grow that way. But I also think that right now, since we can't compete in anything, any championships, I think people might not want to come here, and then in the future people are going to be like, oh, there's like nobody on that team.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go.
One more thing. So with D1, with teachers actually actively prioritizing athletics over academics, would you say that affects the attitude of like lower classmen, like when it comes to sports or academics?
What do you mean by that?
Like they believe that they have to prioritize athletics above everything else.
I do think that now that we are D1 people are like, the pressure for us to think more about athletics is definitely out there. But a lot of the people that are here right now came here because, you know, they wanted to focus on academics and still play their sport.
Yeah.
All right.
One more thing. So I feel like you guys should have got a heads up, like, you know, way before this whole transition period, so you guys would have, like, be better prepared for it, right? I was just talking to some people on the volleyball team, and, like, they're playing D1 schools now, but they're not prepared for it. Like, you know, they can't even, like, I don't know, like, their athleticism is way better than the ones from here, because we were D2, we were playing schools that were less challenging and stuff like that. And, like, you've been competing and stuff like that. Has it been harder, like, let's say, like, you know, like maybe you were winning last year and now you're winning less this year?
Well, our team is better this year than it has been in a while. So we are doing well, but we also haven't. The one meet that we did compete against D1 teams, we did not do very well.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's understandable.
But I mean, they're like, it was like Bucknell and St. Francis, and they're very good D1 teams in the NEC.
Yeah.
So, and we're not there yet. You know, we don't have the recruits of the D1. We were recruited for like D2.
D2, yeah.
And that's that. At the end of the day, we are still D2 athletes, just competing
And
D1.
D1 title, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anything else, Carlos, that you want to discuss?
No, I would say we covered everything today.
Yeah, thanks for coming on here and talking to us, Michaela.
Yeah. Well, thanks
thank
for
you.
having me.
Thank you so much for participating.
You're welcome.
And it's been me, Kem,
And me, Carlos.
and this is Discussion Cast, and we're out.
Peace.